Hello, happy Easter. Whoever celebrates Easter, I hope you're having a great one, a wonderful Sunday, whatever it is. Enjoy it. I'm still in southern Idaho. It was just starting to really get warm enough where I could sit out in my chair in the sun in the morning with my coffee, and now we've got this cold front coming in. It's going to freeze again tonight. I'm usually in Texas this time of year, so I'm so tired of winter. um, I crave my vitamin D, so I'm still outside. I'm in front of my favorite bush. I'm at my folks' place. I've been here helping them with whatever's needed during this time that we're in right now. And this is a sage bush here. Sage grows, it's almost like a bush. It grows, well, I think it is a bush. It grows and grows and grows and grows. Never dies. It's a perennial. So I come out, sit by it. I clip a lot off. I use it for sage, for various things. It's a wonderful, wonderful plant. Good for many, many things. Couple of things. We're all sort of in this together. We've been spending a lot of time on our own or with our families. We've been forced to slow down, things I've talked about before. The world is changing. It's never going to be the same after this, no matter how you look at it or what you talk about on whatever level. This is going to be a huge change in the way we go about business, the way we go about life, the way we treat our neighbors, and it could be either way again. But this is definitely a huge catalyst for change that's coming. So prepare. And it could be good, it could be bad. It depends on your perspective in life and how you treat it. But as you heard me talk about before, this is not an us against them. We are one. We are all us. And so I'm seeing that happen a lot. I've seen that in my travels where people are starting to understand there's more to life. And especially now that you've been forced to slow down, there's more to life than maybe on that hamster wheel, running 100 miles an hour, paying bills, and waiting for that 2-week vacation every year. A lot of people are starting to understand there's more to life than that. Starting to learn about their family, their friends, their spouses, their lovers, because we've been forced to stay still. And through that, I think a lot of good is coming out. And you know, there's also a lot of bad, but I think I like to be a glasses half full guy. But I use Facebook as a social media, like a lot of us, and I use a microcosm of different communities, and I watch the different places that I used to live in LA and Texas and around the country. And I'm seeing a lot of people starting to understand that helping our neighbors, service to others, all these things are going to start coming out. It's going to be wonderful. But I'm also seeing people starting to draw lines and dial down even harder, getting a little more hatred, getting angrier. They can't help themselves. They're bringing politics into everything. And this isn't a political thing. You can make it that, but it's not. This is about us coming together as a human species, all of us, and supporting each other through this. Many people are realizing that now. There's some that won't still. They'll get left behind in their own sort of misery and fear. That's fine. But as you've heard me talk about before, once we understand here, and we start to love ourselves and start to understand what it's like to be by ourselves. It's a Buddhist phrase that says, when we're alone, we're never alone. And that all comes from a lot of inner work. Then it all comes out from there. Everything in life is gravy, and we start helping people and everything that I've talked about before. But there is a union, and there is a growth coming out from this, and I truly believe it, of people helping people and seeing that life is much more than what it's been presented to us by the media and a lot of false narratives that are out there. So I believe there's going to be a lot of good coming out this for humanity. In business, in the way we do life, it'll be wait to be seen, but I'm excited for it. And I've talked about before fear. And human nature is we tend to want to sort of be in fear, dwell in the future that hasn't happened there, dwell in the past, and we're missing the present moment here. And again, this goes into a lot of meditation and things that I've talked about before, working on our lives, but fear does us absolutely nothing. It's bad for our bodies, it's bad for our immune system. We need a good immune system, and there's many ways we can do that for our immune system, but a large part, I was calling out the media, large parts of the media, not all of it, but I was calling them out at the beginning of this virus thing, and well before that, the media thrives on fear, driving fear into us. They have a narrative, and I'm talking all media. It doesn't matter if you're listening to the left, MSNBC, or the right, Fox. It's all the same, where they're drawing fear. Fear brings readers and listeners and viewers back. And if you're just using now one of those stations as your sole source of media, then they're telling you how to think. So I'm seeing again a lot of people starting to go outside the box, starting to look for issues, to start to dive in. It's what I've done with my business for over 10 years. An issue comes out in the health business or something. We go in and we study the studies. We read everything on the left, everything on the right, and everything in between. And we get a pretty good idea what's really going on. And you need to do that, and a lot of people are doing that as well. And they're just getting sick and tired of the mainstream media feeding them garbage and feeding them fear. I am seeing that over and over. People are just tired of it. So through that, and again, I'm very hopeful. I think new media sources are going to spring up to fill this need. I truly believe when this is all said and done, people are going to understand how biased they've been and how the narrative has been driven for them when they're using one media sources. Most of the big sources I'm talking about, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, and they're tired of it. And they're tired of living in fear. And I truly believe new media sources are going to spring up that's without bias. They're not going to have those incessant talking heads and conjecture and speculation they do all day long. And it's happening already. Let's call it citizen journalism, independent media. I truly believe it's going to grow and fill needs of people like myself and many, many, many others that you're not seeing on the mainstream news that are just sick and tired of it all. We're out here living our lives. We're living in quietly and a little more enlightened. So I truly believe that's going to happen. So again, I'm a glass is half empty, glass is half full kind of guy. And I believe when this is said and done with a virus and we're starting to get back into life, which I think is going to happen very soon, there's going to be a new sort of an awareness, a new consciousness, let's say, of people looking at life differently and understanding that we are all one and we are here to help others. And yeah, you may call it a utopia world, but you know what? I'm working on my little world, and that's the way I'm going to live my life. And I know other people are living that way too, and they're starting to. So I'm very hopeful. Now, on the health side, since I've been teaching holistic health for going on 15 years, I'll just reiterate, stay away from garbage. You know, you can't do it overnight, but our bodies are our temple. And as I was saying to a friend the other day, I've spent my last 15 years training for events like this. I may get sick, but I have a tremendous immune system to fight it off because I've been working on it. And without going into specific details, avoid sugars, avoid processed foods, eat clean, drink at least 60 to 80 ounces of water a day, get sleep, and get exercise. It's everything you've heard before. Vitamin D, out in the sun. Any chance I get out there. Burning is what hurts us, but our skin is made to synthesize the sun, which is vitamin D, which is great for depression. It's good for our immune system. Studies show that we need about 40 minutes of natural sunlight a day, and many of us aren't getting that. So get out, get vitamin D. Vitamin C, another thing you can't go wrong with. When you take vitamin C and any supplements, your body will take what it needs and it'll eliminate the rest. So I recommend 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C daily. I do that during the year. And when it comes to cold, flu, or coronavirus season, I boosted it to 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 milligrams a day. I'm not saying this is curing it. I'm just saying this is good for our bodies anyway, period, no matter what. And I eat a lot of fruit and vegetables. Exercise, of course, and drinking a lot of water and making sure you get your sleep. Sleep is the cornerstone of our lives. Thousands of studies, you read it, we go without, we all have bad night's sleep, but chronically bad night's sleep leads to a laundry list of health and mental issues, and especially now. And where does that tie around to? Fear. Fear causes a lot of cortisol into our body, and a lot of things like that, including anger, does the same thing. It affects our sleep, it affects depression. So all this points back to treating your body well, treating it like a temple, getting all these things I've talked about, and then you're at the defense. So when these viruses or when anything else comes around, your body's going to be ready to fight it. Even if you do get sick, you're going to have an immune system that's still going to fight it even more. So it's a win-win to take care of your bodies, you know? It really is. And take it from me, who I didn't do that for most of my adult life back in LA. I mean, that's another story. So, a couple of words I just wanted to share with you. I hope you're having a great Easter day and you're really making the best out of this lockdown, whatever you want to call it, in this COVID-19 situation we're in, because this is what I like to do, and I like to recommend use this as an opportunity. Not as a bad thing. Use it as an opportunity to start really looking at your life and looking at yourself and what's truly important in life. You might be pleasantly surprised what you discover. I'll talk to you soon.